We are live. Hello, everybody. By the way, I've been enjoying the chat and the fun usernames and stuff. But yeah, a couple of things. Darren's just joining us. But we Indiana was upset, so I gathered her up in the Quack Pack, so she's in here with us tonight. And the lighting is a little different because my ceiling fan went out. And it just decided. I think it had some kind of issue with the electronics in it or whatever.
The
But
ceiling fan went out in the beginning of summer.
Yeah,
We have to replace it and paint to have it installed.
Yeah, or round up somebody to do it. But you know what though? What we're using are the cake pan lights that I use for taping for videos. So it's fortunate that I happen to have those. So that it's just going to look a little different. The colors are going to be a little cooler, because of all that. But yes, and Indiana will probably be giving us some commentary. Let me tell you about this little munchkin. She started fussing. I mean, like, very vehement quacking. If I were to imitate it, she would be like, Mama Duck, what's going on? What are you doing? Are you mocking me? But she was really fussy, and so I go to check on her in her little cabana that we have set up, on the back patio, and I realized that the radio was out. The batteries ran down. So it was quiet. And so she was complaining rather vehemently because her tunes were gone. So that's very much our duck because we've had it on, a classic rock station, So she's been getting. I noticed there's a lot of Heart. There's a little bit of Rush, Def Leppard, Queen, stuff like that in the mix. And so, yeah, that's our duck. But yeah, she just, has been a little rambunctious. So I said, you get to come in and sit with us because I figured you guys would enjoy that. So.
I was musing earlier. For once of recent, people will be able to ask questions of Seth. He won't have to throw an airplane.
Yeah. I'm just I'm catching on the conversation about the dank and because or the joke about order for roll my blunt roll my blunt 420 but yeah it doesn't do well for me either, so that's one of those things. But yeah, and with regard to the solstice, and Sarcastic's pointing out that you might be amused to know that they found traces of cannabinoids on an old altar to Yahweh. And so,
Perfect.
Because
oh God. Yeah, get it.
Yeah. Well, here's the funny thing. We don't have any record that the ancient Egyptians used hemp for anything other than making rope, but we know the Mesopotamians did, and they in their tablets, their medical treatises, they would prescribe cannabis for depression,
and it works. No, until you come down.
I think they mentioned like one entry in the the Emirates papyrus, where it's the medical.
Yeah, the Ebers papyrus.
They mention it. Have one entry of it in there about for treatment of the eye.
For glaucoma, yes.
Well, maybe we. I have to go back and look at that. This. That believe me, they have looked to see, do we have any traces of cannabinoids, like on mummies or things like that? And again, there's nothing conclusive, but you never know. I always keep an open mind on things like that because they could find something tomorrow that upends our understanding of something. So, and also,
one thing that was really throwing people for a loop was one lady had discovered what was it? Cocaine. I think it was cocaine in one mummy, and she did a couple of tests, and it kept coming up. So she's submitted that, and there was a lot of pushback, and others were looking at it and saying, "Well, yeah, it looks right," So it's one of those that's up in the air, and nobody's agreeing.
Yeah, well, because and I would what I would say is, well, could there be anything else that is registering as cocaine when it's actually something else? Because sometimes something can trip up the tests.
That's called a false positive.
Right. Yes. So that's why you have to be rigorous about things like this.
It could have just been an Eric Clapton fan.
Okay. Well, anyway.
The main thing the first thing is that apparently she did it more than once and got the same result. So now we just have to figure out if what she's detecting is actually that or something else.
Okay. Okay. Well, and somebody else is saying, well, with those old school Egyptologists were doing cocaine and didn't care too much about cross contamination. That is always a possibility. By the way, thank you so much for the super sticker. That is for the cool waters. We need to get going with that.
Oh, they're giving you stickers specifically for the cool waters?
Yeah.
Can we have one for our cool fan?
Cool fan. Well, it's not too bad right now. This fan has been wonky for like a year. It dates back to when we moved in, so it's probably time for it to. Actually, no, I think we did have to replace this one 10 years ago, but still, it just I'm not worried about it, not right now. But yes, we're honoring Seth, because he had a feast day. On it actually would have been June 16th, but since last week we were honoring Seth and Moot, this week we're honoring Seth, and of course he's got some balance here, but also it also happens to be the solstice, and that's something that it wasn't a big deal for the Egyptians, but I think part of the reason for that. This actually was an observation that was made by an Assyriologist who was studying a fire festival from Uruk that took place presumably around the winter solstice. And she points out that the further south you go, especially the closer to the equator you get, the less noticeable solstices are. So, like our friends in the northern tier of the United States and in Europe, in Great Britain, will notice a difference. The day's going to be even longer and the night even shorter than it would be for us down here, and even less so the further south you go. And much of Egypt is, well, really all of it. And I'm working this off of the little factoid that. You have the same line of latitude that goes all the way around the globe. New Orleans, Louisiana, I think Shanghai, China, and Alexandria, Egypt are all on that same line of latitude. So that means they're all the same distance from the equator. And since that's like the top edge of Egypt, everything else is further south. So, it would be like, on the same line with the Caribbean or something. And they didn't notice, they probably don't notice that. There is some difference, but it's not like, oh my God, where did the sun go? So that's why it wasn't as big of a deal for them. Whereas, with European pre-Christian cultures, the solstices were a big deal. But there was something cute that they did in Mesopotamia. And you had two sisters, Selushtab and Katuna, and then Gunisura and Gazbaba. And they were the sisters of the house of day and the house of night, and they would trade places so that they would balance out the day and night. So that was what they would do. But they would do it several days after the actual solstice, so because their calendar was calibrated differently. So that is your fun fact for the night. So let's go ahead and get to those cool waters. Yes, that's right. And day for Sutekh. Another thing I was saying is the South Floridian. Yeah, we don't have seasons aside from kind of humid and completely wet. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, they probably did notice, but the winters were not, like, oh my God, there's no sunlight. Where did it go? And you know, stuff like that. But it's okay, sweetheart. Besides, we need to get you used to your quack pack so we can travel whenever that's going to be. Apparently, your Darren's folks keep changing the dates around on that. We'll find out at some point, I guess.
Yeah.
These cool waters are upon my hands, and they purify me, as Tefnut purifies me. Hail unto you, Yeshua. We come unto you without falsehood and without evil. Our purity is upon our hands. Purity is within our hearts. And we cast out all evil that pertains to us. We are pure. We are pure. We are pure. We are pure.
Man!
It's just the contrast, man. It's just,
Man!
because it's hot. It's hot in here. That's all.
Was it worth every penny, folks?
Ugh.
And there you have it, folks.
I'm getting me a hamburger tonight.
Everybody loves you.
I love y'all.
Yeah, that is the balances. We love you, Darren.
I love you too.
Yes, we are pure. But okay, yeah, and the different seasons, like in Ohio, winter, construction, heat stroke, and kind of nice. Yeah, can totally appreciate that. But let's light our candle. Come in peace, bright eye of Horus. Come in peace. Receive the light.
Receive the light.
The eye of Horus shines like Ra in the twin horizons, and evil hides in fear of it. Receive the light.
Receive the light.
The eye of Horus destroys the enemies of Ra and all of their abodes, till none remain. Receive the light.
Receive the light.
The eye of Horus comes to the four corners of the world, to everyone who's tuning in with us now, has been with us in the past, and will be joining us in the future. This eye of Horus comes. We are all purified with it. Receive the light.
Receive the light.
We'll also light a candle for Mama Sekhmet. that she may bring peace and healing to all those who need it. And to Mahes, the Scarlet Lord, who, like Set, is in charge of protecting us from storms. May he continue to protect those that are in harm's way. You arise in the Achetes Capri, O Ra, spreading your light upon the earth. You set in peace in the mountains of Manu, Satum, bringing your light to Duat. Shine upon earth as you do in heaven and Duat. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who came from noon at the first time, for such is your uniqueness. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who placed Hu at your left side, for such are the words you commanded. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who placed Sia at your right side, for such is your great wisdom. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, whose Hika goes before you, for such is your ability. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who rules with Ma'at upon your brow, for such is your righteousness. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, and hail and praise unto you, O Sutekh, Lord of strength, and all of you Notcharu, you lords of love and lords of life. Grant us life, well-being, and health. May our eyes perceive your goodness and our hearts receive your wisdom. May you shine upon us as you traverse the sky, that we may bring to you Ma'at and cast out Seth. And may you guard us from the evil one through the dark hours of the night, your protection being before us and your strength being within us. Take these, the cool waters that are the inundation, that they may cool your hearts. Oya Notcharu, these cool waters are the eye of Horus, that your hearts may be refreshed. Milk, milk, may you taste it in your shrine. May your hearts be refreshed with it. We bring you this milk from the great flood, Oya Notcharu, that you may be purified with it. We give you incense, great purity. This incense is the eye of Horus, and its fragrance comes to you and cleanses you. It adorns you and takes its place upon your hands. Oya Notcharu, we give to you this eye of Horus. Its fragrance comes to you. There we go. Take this, your bread, on which gods live. This bread is the eye of Horus, Oya Notcharu. Lift it to your faces and be at peace with it. And I have to tell you the story real quick about this one, because watermelon is associated with Seth, because it's a red fruit. Is it a fruit? Melon? I don't know. Whatever its classification is, it's read, but not only that, there was a story that it came from seed of a very particular kind that he spilled on the ground in frustration, actually chasing after his sister Isis, but that's another story. But it was associated with him. Well, I was thinking, wouldn't it be great to have some watermelon to offer? But you know, I didn't have a chance to go and get any. Well, this afternoon I was trying to cool off in my driveway after trying to mow the grass. Dude with a pickup truck stopped, said, "Hey, you want some watermelon? I'm selling some." Sure, and I happen to have a little money, so I paid $10 and got a big ass watermelon. And when he stopped and says, "Hey, would you like some watermelon?" I said, "That's a clear sign. I know who set this up, so I better get him some watermelon." So there we have it. So Seth got the first cut out of the watermelon. Funny how it all works out. And the gardens prosper, and Hapi rejoices, overflowing with his meal. We fill this eye of Horus for you with wine, O Ra, Set, O Yenachuru. Drink and be pure. The doors of heaven and the doors of earth are open with libations for you within this house. May your faces be refreshed with your libations, your wine, and your water. Pure, pure is Ra Horaketi within his house. Pure, pure is Sutekh, Lord of the Western Oases, within his house. Pure, the cause of all of these gods, with this good myrrh that is given. Jehuti proclaims it. It is written in his house of sacred words. Hapi gives in abundance, thousands of offerings, all things good and pure for Ra Horaketi, for Sutekh, in every place that their immortal cause dwell. Come to your body, O Ra Horaketi. Come to your body, O Sutekh. Come to your bodies, O Yenachuru, and come to your invocation. Come unto us, your servants, who are mindful of your feasts and your offerings. Bring your power, your hika, your honor, and your ba to these your offerings, and partake of them. And you know what? I'm starting to get a theory about the incense. I think it's the brand, but I'll save that for later. Come, O people, raise these offerings before the faces of these gods. Lift the offerings before Ra Horaketi, before Sutekh. All life comes from them. All health comes from them. All stability comes from them. All good fortune comes from them, as it has since the first time. O Ra Horaketi and your son, the Osir Nisu, Nevkeprura, your foes retreat from you. Horus turns himself to his eye. Turn yourselves to these, your offerings, and receive them from our hands. Okay, And from the table of the gods to the table of the blessed dead, we light this candle, that it may be the eye of Horus that lights their way in Duat. And we pour these cool waters from the table of Osiris, that their hearts may be refreshed. Ta hen ket ka abdus naturma hut nebet no fra waberan ken naturim and kawen achu punibu ma hernibu natura. Voice offering of bread and beer, 1,000 of beef and fowl, and incense and oils, and all good and pure things on which a god lives, for the cause of all of these blessed dead, all true of voice before the great God. And now, we come unto you, O Ra, as Jehuti comes, our hands joined under Ma'at. Ma'at has come to be with you in every place where you are. An offering of Ma'at is made unto you, that your heart may be pleased and your Ka shall live. Truly, your Aeneid has Ma'at, for they know you live in her. The Aeneid says unto you, your word is law, eternally. The speck is cast out by your word. Rejoicing is yours every day. Ma'at has taken her place in your shrine. May we always act with gentility and compassion, for such is the first Ma'at. May we always offer charity and hospitality, for such is the second Ma'at. May we always respect consent and fidelity, for such is the third Ma'at. May we always avoid violence and promote wellness, for such is the fourth Ma'at. May we always speak words of truth, for such is the fifth Ma'at. May we always promote the public good, for such is the sixth Ma'at. May we always act humbly and with temperance, for such is the seventh Ma'at. May we always honor our gods and respect others, for such is the eighth Ma'at. May we uphold Ma'at like Jehuti, that we may witness Ra's perfection every day. Squeak, squeak. Listen, thank you for all the likes. So I'm seeing those little hearts floating. Okay, did someone have a question? Oh. Some tigers and flowing such. Okay, watermelon is technically in the berry family. Well, I thought it was a cucurbit, but that's a fun thing to look up. But yes, so watermelon, I gave you the opportunity. Absolutely. Okay, and Nathaniel said, I used Florida water instead of water for the cool waters bit, and got it in my eyes and mouth, and I have many regrets right now. Eek. Yeah, don't do that. But Okay, VMY beloved. Wish I could afford shrine statues. Well, there's lots of variations, and some other folks were saying, yeah, you can use pictures and things like that. Um, and yeah, and I do make shrine boxes. I'm actually working on some more. Oddly enough, I do have a little shrine box for set that should be in my store right now. And I'm trying to clear out some stock that I've got. Actually get some things made. So over the course of the year, you'll see more of those. But what you're seeing here is goodness. How many years worth of acquiring? Because actually,
several.
because like the first one that I ever got was actually the little statue of Anubis that's over here on the very far end, and I got him in the year 2000.
Right.
Insert the Conan O'Brien thing now. In the year 2000. Then my brother gave me the figure of King Tut, standing on the skiff with the spear, and it kind of expanded outward from there. And actually, this was a recent piece that I got at a museum exhibit, and it was one of those things where I went to pay for it, and the card froze, and they called me and said, "Are you really making this purchase at the museum shop in Houston?" I'm like, "Yes, this is really me." But yeah, and Summit Collection statues are getting harder to find. I noticed. So some of the really nice ones are getting a little more expensive, but just be patient, and some really nice things turn up. But yeah, and I do kind of wish that there were more things that catered more to people who take this seriously, and not some of those crazy like buffed out Anubis candle holders, because those are getting really popular now, and I think they're a little kitschy. But sometimes that's all you got. So now we will honor Set, chosen one of Ra. Hang on. Hail, O Sutekh, son of Nut, great of strength in the bark of millions, chosen one of Ra Haraketi, bull who dwells in the northern sky, fearsome one at whom all lands tremble. Great is your war cry, great is your might. Your vast scepter stretches over the sky. You stand at the zenith of the stars. Lord of storms, Lord of dread, your voice is thunder in the heavens. You slay the fiend from the prow of Ra's bark. Protect us from evil and grant us long life. Send. I'll have to write something down later, but what has been kind of bubbling in my mind is, Set, indeed, you are the one who raises your voice in the temple and breaks all the rules. But you cherish creation, you cherish the beloved land of Egypt as much as your brothers and sisters, the gods. And it is you that they call upon in the hour of need, when it is time to cast down, to turn back the serpent, and to make clear the path for the bark of Ra. So we praise your strong arm, O Set. Mm. Okay, now VMware Blood, I have a question. New to Kemetic, isn't Set evil? Well, he is very complex. The thing is, yeah, and you know what? I'll take this opportunity because it occurred to me as I was sitting down doing this. I have to credit Seth with keeping me out of a different Kemetic group that 20 years ago was pretty much the only game in town when you were on the internet, and I was on their forums. And Seth was quite popular there too. Here's the thing. Yes, he did some bad things, and there are a whole series of, there's plenty of stuff in the literature, passages going back to the pyramid texts, where, it's like, hey, you did a terrible thing to your brother. That's not nice. And, things where there's a book of execration where, a whole lot of, naughty list things, are called up about him, again, raising his voice in the temple, eating taboo foods, doing things like that. So he does have that side of, the wicked stepchild, kind of thing. Or like in Passover, you have the wise child, the silent child, and you have the wicked child, and then the child that doesn't know to ask any questions. Well, he would be the wicked child. But the thing is, he also has points where he is reconciled because Horus fights him, and then eventually the two rivals are reconciled. So it's a whole picture. He has a bad side, and there are certain points in the year where we do execrate that bad side and say, shame on you, and we stab little hippopotami cookies and things like that. But then there are points where they're reconciled, and there's balance is restored, and that's what you have. Like with this statue here, it's a replica of something that was found, and the king in between the two is Ramesses III. So you have Horus on one side and Set on the other, and they represent the two opposite halves that, be it Upper and Lower Egypt, the cultivated land and the desert, all of these different opposites that are in balance, and the king is, bolstered by either one. And you have the motif of the union of the two lands, and quite most of the time what you see is Horus on one side and Set on the other, and they're tying the heraldic plants for Upper and Lower Egypt together. And so it's that idea that you have to have balance, and reconciliation, I think, is another overlooked part of his story. Especially when you consider that, what are the offerings? They're the eye of Horus. What's one of the things that we offer? Bread. Bread comes from Osiris. It's kind of a reminder of, Set, you may, go and be the wild child, but sooner or later, who's the one that gives you lunch? It's your brother Osiris. It's your brother / nephew, Horus, giving, his eye. So they have to be able to work together. And of course, Ra, being the big boss and having the most omniscient view, understands that everyone needs a place. And so Set's place, he says, I have a use for you. You'll stand at the prow of my bark and be the voice of thunder in the heavens, and protect my bark from the ultimate evil. And that's the whole idea is, yes, Set breaks rules, but he doesn't want to just destroy everything. There's another entity out there that wants destruction for its own sake, as opposed to saying, well, I'm going to bump off my brother and be, the king of Egypt and king of the gods, and that didn't work out. And of course, the story, there's some back and forth, and I think a little bit of brattiness between him and Isis as his sister, because yeah, he gives her a hard time, but she turns, the tables on him a couple of times too. And it's all in the contendings of Horus and Seth, So that's why he's a very complex character, and that's why um, you can't say that he's purely evil, because he's not the absolute evil. He's that ambivalent. However, it would be just as wrong to say that, oh well, he's misunderstood. Oh well, the thing that had me tearing my hair out and deciding I don't want to have anything to do with this other group is that they had this idea that, oh well, we really need a deity for the underworld, and so the only one who is strong enough to kill one of us is Set. So could you do this for us? No, come on, really? Have you bothered to read some of the literature? And there are things like Papyrus Salt 825 is a major work that militates against that interpretation. But yeah, that was one of the things that I took issue with. They basically trying to deny that that whole row between Set and Osiris ever took place. That it was mischaracterized in books. No, it's not. That really did happen. That's kind of important to the story, and again the you could say Set's fall from grace, and then his redemption later after the contendings when a place is found for him. And he has a role to play, even if he's not going to be king of the living. That goes to Horus. So that is my little bit, and that's how I credit Set for keeping me out of trouble, ironically enough.
I think he does that for a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Ray Rambles. Questions mean learning, and learning is a blessing of the nature. I think that is, and Mary Draw saying, this teaches, represents how no one is beyond redemption. I love that, and I think that's great. Set teaches how no one is beyond redemption, because even Set has a place, and so I love that. Thank you. I'm gonna use that, Mary Draw. But. Yeah. Oh, and I just want to let you know your videos help me with my everyday struggles, and I'm saving a bicycle with us. Thank you so much. And I'm thank you so much for that. And saw Kemetic channel said he was pure evil. Well, tell you what, I would be curious to know what channel that is, so I can watch it and I can kind of, analyze it and maybe talk about it in another video. But I don't know what to do. I'm not ready to speak about it just yet. I say, yeah, that's great. Yeah. And by the way, I am actually going to do new editions of a couple of books, because Lulu has some, gave me some message. Apparently, in my ebooks, they're like, well, the publication date in the book doesn't match, what we have for the file, or whatever. Yeah, really? So I'm having to go through that, but that's going to give me a chance to fix a couple of things, put in a new forward, put in a couple of things that I've found since then, like in Circle, some folks pointed out that there's no ritual for first Denit. I'll fix that. I'll put that in there. So,
and we're printing it entirely in Pig Latin and Klingon mixed. Study.
Yeah. I regret selling that poster that I had.
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah, and if anybody's old enough to remember, there was a poster from Star Trek Next Gen. It was one of those things you could buy in Walmart, and it was conversational Klingon. And I sold it at a sci-fi con like 20 years ago. But then I figured out, Chris Collins, aka Chris Latta, the voice of Starscream and Cobra Commander, also did several Klingons in Star Trek Next Gen. And he did several aliens, but including a couple of Klingons. And I'm like, I wonder if one of his Klingons was on that poster, and I didn't realize it. And so I had him, sitting behind my bedroom door all that time. So if somebody finds that poster, let me know, because I'm going to have to get it just for that. That and to bark insults at people in Klingon is kind of fun. So, it is time now for us to do our cookies. So,
Cookie. You want a cookie, Indiana?
well, that wouldn't be good for her. But I tell you what, this little ducky, do not open a bag of potato chips. Or what else have we opened? Crackers.
Everything.
Yeah, if it crinkles or sounds like a Ziploc bag.
Insert Gary Oldman here. Everything.
Yeah, it sounds like her treats. And she will get excited and she will stand on the edge of her water dish and chirp and beg, for treats. And you cannot resist the cuteness. So, when we open up a bag of chips or something like that, we have to do something for her too. It's just how it goes. So, we're going to start off with a cookie for everyone. So, anyone who's tuning in after the fact, this fortune is for you too. Of course, last week they were quite talkative. We got 3 of them. One saying, approach Mondays with resilience and you can conquer any obstacle. Thanksgiving will be successful, which to me that says you'll have a good harvest. Because what is Thanksgiving? It is a harvest meal. And so for our viewers that are not in the United States, hey, this means we'll have a good harvest. The other thing that is said last week was you have the power to shape your own destiny. So let's see what Seth has to add to that mix. Okay. We got 2. I almost wonder if maybe that's Horace and Seth, but well, let's see. And why am I suddenly imagining a good cop, bad cop routine with Horace and Seth? That would be either hysterical or frightening. I don't know which. Okay, our first one. Many successes will accompany you this year. Wow, many successes will accompany you this year. That was the first one. And now, a loved one's trust is a bond that should be cherished. A loved one's trust is a bond that should be cherished. And many successes will accompany you this year. It's funny what we were just talking about with, Seth and with, redemption and things like that. And the two, the two powers reconciled. And what's one of the things he says? A loved one's trust is a bond that should be cherished. So, perhaps speaking to that experience. So we're going to put those right here. Oh, okay. I know someone asked me, isn't the Temple of Set Satanists with extra steps? I think that's the case, but that would be a kind of a whole other thing. And what do you think about the Temple of Set and the Hermetic approach to Kemetic deities? Well, see, the Hermetic, that kind of traces its lineage back to Aleister Crowley, or I believe Aleister Crowley is how he wanted his name to be said. But even fellow Briton Ozzy Osbourne sang about Mr. Crowley. But anyway, so that lineage there, and there are a lot of folks that are practicing Hermeticists and Thelemists, And I've been to a demonstration of a thelemic ritual, and I tell you what, they obviously knew their stuff, and they were very polished with it, but it's kind of different from what we do. And I think, I don't know, that would be a whole other discussion, but and then yeah, they got the Temple of Set. The problem with the Temple of Set is that they're trying to connect Set to Baal to Satan, and it's kind of the further out you go, the more precarious and on a limb you are, and I think some of their connections are a bit spurious, but that's their own thing. My biggest thing is, don't pick a fight with my husband, and I won't pick a fight with you. To put it simply. Yeah, and yeah, I do have a story about a Satanist that showed up at Pagan Night Out a couple of times, and he didn't count on the Kemetic in the room, and that's another long story. Maybe I should save it for Patreon.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I do have some things on Patreon. I just dropped them before setting up for live streams. So if you're on Patreon, you get an advanced view. I've got the how-to guide episode and all that good stuff. So I'm going to pause the chat, kind of go back and start getting the cookies. But and there was also the question about what's the difference between Khonsu and Jehuti. Well, they're both lunar deities, but they also have kind of different lineage, different roles.
One is on Disney Plus, one is not.
And I really, really hate that version of Khonsu. I guess, it's kind of like if you ask, and I figured this out the hard way. If you ask a Norse pagan what they think about the Thor movies, they're going to roll their eyes about the same way that I would roll my eyes at Moon Knight or Gods of Egypt.
The two greatest movies ever.
And they even call it Khonshu, not Khonsu.
Well, I can see why they do that, but then there's the whole thing about Tawiret, and yes. I kind of explain a little bit about that, I think, in a video somewhere, but as it is, Zabalin, I think, has the first one. If I can get it to, yeah, okay. So we go Zabalin, and then roll my blunt. I'm not gonna say the rest of that.
What?
Is this roll my blunt hoe?
Roll my blunt hoe.
Anyway, Zabalin and then Rabbit. Hang on. Zabalin, your dreams will come true in December. Your dreams will come true in December. So, Zabalin, your challenge is to work on them now so that you can see them come to fruition. And now, roll my blunt, aka Rabbit.
I'm just going to start calling him Token.
No, it's just that they're using a different name in a different channel, so.
Okay.
That's So, Rabbit, your passion for sports will keep you young and full of vitality. Well, I guess if rolling is I'm wanting to make jokes about smoking and hacky sack, but it might also be saying that you need to, pick up something. I don't know, because I don't think this is a demographic that tends to do a lot of that, but your passion for sports will keep you young and full of vitality, even if it's one you haven't discovered yet. I'll have to see what your comments are, when I scroll down. But Mythwood, and then Katie Horton from Seth. But we'll start with Mythwood. There we go. Mythwood. Love is the sweetest of all emotions. Love is the sweetest of all emotions. I'm trying to wheel of you again. So Mythwood, that was for you. Katie, your turn. Learn to adapt to the challenges of an ever-changing world. From Seth himself. Learn to adapt to the challenges of an ever-changing world. Okay. So, Lady Zephos from Sutekh, and then Ashley from Sekhmet. So, yes, Lady Zephos and then Ashley. Oh, okay. Lady Zephos, you will look back on this moment and smile. You will look back on this moment and smile. Lady Zephos, that is for you. And then Ashley Spradley asking Mama Sekhmet. Your future is a blank canvas. Paint it with your dreams. Don't say anything. Your future is a blank canvas. Paint it with your dreams. You okay, Darren? All right, so Robin Penn, and then Aloni, Ron, Seth, and then can I get one for my brother today? All righty. Okay, yeah, and the left hand, just temple side set, left hand path. Assumptions vary between what it means to be a Satanist, so maybe, yeah. Well, the thing is, you have your theistic Satanist and then your non-theistic, where it's like the idea is you worship yourself, kind of. And I realize that's probably destroying some nuance that they would want to put in there, but
Satanists do both.
Well, again, the whole thing is depends on which one you're talking about, because there's different flavors of it.
Yeah.
Again,
Consult moral world.
It's a consult. Okay, the moral oral episode with that was hilarious. Yes. If anybody's ever seen that, yeah, it's a little different from what we do here, because we would be very much right hand path. Yeah, but We got that. Yeah, Mythwood. I'm just trying to make sure I catch everybody. Okay, so we're going Robin Penn and then Alone. Okay. Robin Penn, I guess you have some voicemail. The other thing I'm noticing is a lot of times I look and I'm like, I'm certain that one particular cookie is about to, jump out, and then it shuffles and something else comes out. So I'm like, that I guess that's rather appropriate for him. But excuse me. Robin, your first one. Don't let regret over missed chances hold you back. And I have this feeling that he's like, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But
don't make me say it. Don't make me say it.
Now there's another one here. A lifetime of meaningful connections is coming. Wow. Let me put these two together for you, Robin. Don't let regret over missed chances hold you back. A lifetime of meaningful connections is coming. And I feel like this might have to do with people, and things that happen in the past. And don't let the memory of those people hold you back. You have better people coming into your life. I think that's very much what you have right here. So, Robin, that was for you. And now, Alani from Ra and from Sutekh. In dreams and in life, nothing is impossible. Aloni, that's for you. In dreams and in life, nothing is impossible. Now, for your brother. Be prepared to stand by your principles, even in difficult times. That's for your brother, Aloni. Be prepared to stand by your principles, even in difficult times. And for you, in dreams and in life, nothing is impossible. Okay. Okay, Pace of Bast from Seth, and then Ray Rambles from Lord Seth. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And Nathaniel's very kind enough to explain a little bit more about the complexities of Satanism, as a kind of branch, and you have like a whole bunch of little things because they're not. Is pointing out that with Christianity you at least have the Bible as your center point, but without that, it's like, okay, what are we basing this on? So you have a lot of variation. So. Is there a god of a nutshell of ants? I don't think. I don't know.
If there is, he'll be marching 3 by 3.
Okay. That was a hard instance. Oh, Oh yeah. Okay, so what happened was trying to say something, the spell check totally missed that one. Yeah, so I have to talk to actual singers. Yeah. Hmm. Yes, and okay, Katie had to head out because the pressure from the barometric pressure from thunderstorms, and I can totally appreciate that because it also messes with asthma and lots of other things. So, did she get her fortune? Because I would certainly want to make sure. Okay, cool. Yes. All right, good. Just wanted to make sure. Gabriel says, "Hey guys, just want to say I love y'all from the middle of Missouri. Hello, nothing was going over to plan with Sis's wedding, but first flight was nice, not scary at all. Well, that's good. Yeah, and think you guys have got like a high pressure dome or something right now, and they're talking about a heat wave in that part of the country. So try to stay cool. But okay, I see we got a couple of Discord cookies. So let me try and make sure. We're going to Pesa Bass, then Ray Rambles, and then B, and then Nathaniel. So let's try and get those going because we're right at an hour and 6 minutes, so we don't want to take too long. But lots of requests from Seth, starting with Pesa Bass. Okay, so Pesa. This Saturday, take a break and indulge in self-care. So that's tomorrow. Take a break and indulge in self-care. So, Pesa, that's for you. Hang on, baby. We'll be done in just a bit. Okay, so Ray. Tomorrow's laughter is a reminder of life's beauty. So, Ray, tomorrow's laughter is a reminder of life's beauty. So go have fun tomorrow, y'all. Okay, so B and then Nathaniel. B, explore your own creativity through various outlets. Explore your own creativity through various outlets. So then I think we were at, Nathaniel. Nathaniel, today make it your mission to encourage those who cross your path. Today, make it your mission to encourage those who cross your path. And it's funny, one thing I can say about that is that's going to help you build up energy for yourself. So I think he's telling you, recharge charge up your batteries by encouraging others, and that's going to come in handy. So make it your mission to encourage those who cross your path. So Nathaniel, that was for you. Starscape. Well, for my partner, one for me, if it's okay. From Seth. Okay. And then next is Sarana. Well, let's see. So you asked for your partner first. So let's see. It's like you just spat that one out at us. So Starscape. This is for your partner. Financial prosperity and success will be yours this year. Financial prosperity and success will be yours this year. Sugar daddy, maybe? But that's for your partner, Starscape. And now for yours. Okay, this is funny. Because what were we saying about Saturn? One of the things that they said that he did. And now, Starscape, this is your fortune from Seth. Don't talk loudly in public spaces. That's funny. Don't talk loudly in public spaces. So, Starscape. I think he's saying, trust me on this one. It doesn't go well. All right, so Sarana, and then we got our Discord cookies. And, okay, and Fungal, got to head out. I'd like to ask for a prayer for my partner who's dealing with health problems. Okay, well, lots of love, and we'll say a prayer for them. So here, let's get Sarana, and then since we just got two, we'll do the Discord cookies. Try and catch up. Hang in there, baby. Does this sound like treats? Which I'm probably going to have to give her somewhere. Put her back in her crib. Sarana, nurture the garden of your mind with positive thoughts. Nurture the garden of your mind with positive thoughts. Okay, so our Discord cookies, we had Molly Malk and, Advocate. Okay, Advocate and Molly Malk. So we'll start with Advocate. So for Advocate, be kind and you'll find peace in your soul. Be kind and you'll find peace in your soul. So that was for Advocate. And the next one is for Molly Mouth. So for Molly Milk, forgive those who have wronged you for your own peace of mind. Wow. Forgive those who have wronged you for your own peace of mind. And again, considering where that's coming from, that's quite a powerful message. And as we'll make sure that we say a prayer for Fungal Dog and their partner. But okay. Hermeticism precedes Crowley, but it's a bit different. Okay. Okay. Look, I tell you what, Rabbit, you want to hear that story but don't have Patreon. They have done it to where you can get on Patreon and not have to pay. You can be a free member, and you know, I can always make that one of the stories, because I do have one that I put that's actually, I think that's for the You know, let me go and check. I think I've got it for everybody, but you know, I'll try and put things out that are for like everyone to see. You know, like the picture of us with Dr. Hawass. I'm going to put that in this one, and the question that I got to ask, I'll put that up there. And yeah, if I ever do tell that story about, you know, I'll run in with the theistic Satanist, and again, you know, the thing is, I don't know what flavor of it he was, because I know he was part of something online, and just he was trying to be all dark and brooding and mysterious, and you know, the girl that was Wiccan and you know just found him attractive because he was dark and brooding and mysterious and because he wasn't Christian, and you know, she was she had him on arm when you know they showed up at Pagan Pride Pagan Night Out a couple of times. Yeah, it was like that, but I'll have to tell the story later. So since I'm getting some feedback, I'll have to see about putting that on Patreon for free. Yeah. Yeah, but okay, so I see Gabriel, and then One Eye from Seth, and then Jules Star Anubis Dogs from the Jackals. It's me, Mary Wepwood. Okay, cool. And I'm way behind on the chat. Let me try and catch up a little bit. Okay, and yes, for sarcastic. Oh, show us the duck. Yeah, so that is not a baby duck. That is a 13-year-old duck. But she's still our baby. But I'll see if I can show her in just a minute. Let me go ahead and catch up on the cookies before we go. And thank you everyone for hanging in there. So I think we're at Gabriel, then One Eye, then Married Wepawet, and then Sarcastic. Yeah, and by the way, it's often seen that Seth is something of a patron of LGBTQ, because remember he had an encounter with his nephew, and he was cool with it, and you know how cool with it Horace was is another matter entirely, but that being something that's a little outside of the norm, that's Seth's bag. But yeah, they didn't look on it the same way that we did. And I actually did years ago, I did a video on how homosexuality was viewed in ancient Egypt. And you know, that one, you know, I'm sure if somebody's got it, they can point it out. But you know, yeah, it's, you know, and again, there are some Kemetics that would, you know, take a much more conservative view of it, but you know, that's not how we do it here. So, Gabriel, and then One Eye. I'll wrap this up so I can show you guys the ducky. Okay. Gabriel, a good attitude is your greatest asset. A good attitude is your greatest asset. And now One Eye. On a Saturday night, you'll dance like nobody's watching. One Eye. I think it's time to let loose tomorrow. On a Saturday night, you'll dance like nobody's watching. I think there's a definite message of, hey, y'all have a good time. You know, relax this weekend. Take care of yourselves. But that said, Married to Wet Wet, and then Sarcastic. Come on. There we go. Married to Wet Wet. Nah, Married to Wet Wet. You got the cookie this week.
It's yours, whatever you want to do.
Okay, and now Sarcastic.
Indiana agrees.
Yeah. Later today, you'll enjoy a relaxing moment. Sarcastic. Later today, you'll enjoy a relaxing moment. So I think that's a definite subtext of this is, hey, everybody this weekend, relax, chill. Okay. Yeah, catching up on the chat because I know I'm as sure as the ducky. Yes, I am the cookie. Yes, and actually, there's of course in it's the contendings of Horus and Set. Ra gives Set not an Astarte to Canaanite goddesses as wives. Now, the funny thing is, Astarte is the technical term is West Semitic, but Canaanite, form of Ishtar. So went from Ishtar to Astarte. So you could say that, yeah, he and Ishtar, are friends with benefits or something like that. But anyway, last call for wisdom, y'all. We're gonna if anybody had a request for a cookie, and we didn't get you, just go ahead and put that up. We definitely want to say prayers because Fungal Dog and their partner are having some health concerns. So we ask Mama Sekhmet to place her arms of healing around Fungal Dog's partner. And Seth, may you place your strong arm of protection and blessing over both of them and help them find the wisdom and the resources and the strength to get through what they're dealing with and come out healthier on the other side. So, and here. Hi, baby. Here, let me see if I can. Will you say hi to the camera? Here, baby. Let's see if you can see her. Hi. Hi. Can you see her? Kind of.
Raise her up a little bit.
Well, she's in a quack pack is what we call it. It's like, oh, there we go. Say hi, baby. You've got friends that love you. It's okay. I tell you what, I'll let you go swimming after this, all right? So I'm a little wound up right now. Okay. It's all right, sweetie. I'll let you go swim it off. Because I've got a little thing that we put in the roll-in shower. So it's this little, like one of those things you soak your feet in. She gets in there and then she dumps and, then hops out and flat. And it's really cute. In the morning, she has to supervise while I'm helping Darren put his shoes and braces on. Because she'll sit and watch, and she preens when I'm helping him because in her mind I'm helping him preen, so she preens with us, and it's adorable. It's a good way to start the day. So, yeah. And what is I can do? Okay. open her head up like yeah. Okay, and Rabbit, yours was like kind of far up there, wasn't it? I'm just scrolling to see if I can get it. Yeah, yours was the second one. Okay, and so that one was your passion for sports will keep you young and full of vitality. Okay, and you had asked about your path. You know what? For some reason, martial arts came to mind, and or something like yoga, and the reason why is because you were asking a question about your path. Well, you have there are plenty of Asian traditions where physical discipline and spirituality are kind of combined, because that's what yoga originated as, and there's that's why you had Zen monks that also practiced martial arts, because it's a form of discipline mentally and physically, and helps you to achieve clarity of mind. So if you're thinking about it and then thinking about your question, maybe that is the direction that they're pointing. So if that helps any. So, okay, well, let's go ahead. We're going to make our offerings endure. Yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Indiana, for being such a good sport with us. I'll give you some treats, I promise. So. Hail unto you, Atum. Hail unto you, Capri. You come into being upon the primeval hill. You shine forth upon the shrine of the phoenix in Yanu. You breathe out Shu and Tefnut. May the giving of these offerings endure, as the name of Atum, foremost of the great Enid, endures. May they endure as the name of Shu, Lord of Upper Menset in Yunu, endures. As the name of Tefnut, Mistress of Lower Menset in Yunu, endures. As the name of Geb at the Earth's Ba endures. As the name of Nut in Shrine of Shanit in Yunu, endures. As the name of Osir, Kentiamentiu, endures. As the name of Asat in Nicheru endures. As the name of Sutekh in Nubet endures. As the name of Horus in Pei endures. As the name of Wajit in Dep endures. As the name of Jehuti in Khmenyu endures. As the name of Ra and the Akhet endures likewise for eternity. You have come in peace, O Ra. You have come in peace, O Sutekh. You have come in peace, O Yonachuru. May you go forth in peace, O Ra. May you go forth in peace, O Set, O Yonachuru, to every place your immortal cause wish to be. May you sail in joy in the Manjet bark, and rest content in the Sektet bark. And may you smile upon us, your humble servants. Oh, and also, just keep in the description for this video, I have a link to where you can get a copy of the ritual book that we use. So, if you want to be able to follow along with this and with other things, I finally have something up. And also, if you haven't ordered it yet, you actually kind of did yourself a favor, because I realized I went and I cleaned up a little bit of the ancient Egyptian words for a couple of things in the back, referring to a new book that I was given, and something that's going to be in next month's video. So I realized, oh shoot, I just added this. I need to go and change that. It was the middle of the week, but yeah, if you order it now, you will have everything up to date. And I tried to make sure it was like the cheapest I could get it, so that it's something that you can get and use, and if you wear it out, you can get another one. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, and what are we celebrating next week? I believe that one's going to end up being sort of like a feast of the temple patrons, because I looked and it's like, wait, there isn't anything on the calendar specifically for a deity, just yet. So since our temple patrons, Ra and Sekhmet, we'll be honoring them, and I also take that as an opportunity to kind of get Ishtar involved. Again, because of her connection with other folks like Seth. So, we'll do that, and then that'll lead us into July, and we'll have a lot of stuff going on for that. So we're, by the way, for 4th of July, I'm going to try and do service early so that we're not hearing fireworks and stuff going off while we're trying to have a ritual. So I will probably try and do it an hour early, so about 7:30. That'll be to the advantage of everyone who's like East Coast and earlier. For Married Wepawet, certainly it'll be a little earlier for you. But I know my folks on the West Coast, it's going to be like probably early afternoon, probably about 5:30 or so. Let me know if that's going to be cause any challenges for anybody. So. But thank you again for joining us. Wonderful. Wonderful. Again. Yes, enjoy yourselves and do some self-care. Seth says so. Come see us next week. Yes, and thank you guys so much.
We'll be back next week with the cold waters.
Yeah. And one other thing. I also I finished setting up something for Zoom so that if we want to like have some meetings and people actually be able to participate and have some discussion, like when it comes to, figuring out things for, what our bylaws as a temple, how we want to do some things, ordinations, how we want to do that. I want people to be able to actually participate and not, be stuck on a chat, so I set up Zoom, and, that's something that we can look forward to doing, hopefully after the Kemetic New Year starts. So let's kind of keep that, because I know we also have Discord, but Zoom is just one other way to kind of broaden the net. So yeah, and I'll so okay, and right, so I usually attend a ritual on Zoom every Friday. I did today because I slept through it. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that's cool too. So yeah, let's just stay in touch and kind of talk about that and find out when would be a good time to start discussing things like that. And also somebody had mentioned there is another Kemetic channel that has a different take on Set. If you can share that with me somewhere, like if you're on Discord, just ping me and say, hey, this was the channel or something like that. I can watch it later and be able to respond, I guess, because I like being informed and knowing, well, what are other people saying, before I, you know, offer an opinion. So, yeah, and if y'all want to throw a poll up on the Discord, that's cool too. But thanks again, guys. Lots of love. And I'm going to go feed Indiana some treats.